as far as good evening, booze and ghouls. This is your lovely evil host, Jamie Strode, with Evil by Default podcast. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, this is Poison Apple. We're going to be interviewing what for the second time?
Yes, and so we have a special guest. And would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Toby. I like to watch movies.
So for this episode, we're going to be reviewing a Texas Ale project, the Pantera Golden Ale. And this is a 5.4 ABV. And this is born and brewed in Texas. So we're going to crack this baby open. Oh, you know what? We're going to be reviewing two beers. Let's do this. So Poison Apple is dressing her glass right now. I think she's going to be reviewing a Austin Eastcider pineapple cider. All right, so me and Toby will review first.
Oh, it's like reminds me of like a Shiner.
No, this is really good. It's like it's like light bodied but very flavorful, and I think I taste a little bit of citrus in this, which is not bad. On certain beers, I find them to be way too citrusy, but this one's actually just like right on the point. And what I love about this is that at the very finish, you get a little bit of bitterness, and I love a bitter finish at the end of my beer. So that's good. So Poison Apple, you already dressed your beer, you poured it. Let's do this.
Gonna take a sip.
Yeah. A lick and a sip.
It's actually really good. It's a little sour and has a bitterness to it. It's actually really delicious. And then when I dressed it with tahini and chamoy, it makes it even better. It like comes together with flavors.
It looks really good.
Oh, it's so refreshing. So
yeah,
good.
It looks really refreshing. Okay, so we're gonna get into this. A while back, we had a movie night, and you introduced some horror shorts.
To prime the night.
Yeah.
Some short, like horror themed videos. Yeah.
Okay, so what was one of the ones that you had showed us?
It was The Other Side of the Box. I think that one's one of my favorite for the shorts that I showed for that night. It basically it kind of reminds me of It Follows a little bit. Kind of like how there's a curse that you can pass along to other people, and then you no longer have to worry about this demon or whatever following around hunting you down. So it kind of gives me that kind of vibes.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. I didn't think about that one. I know that. So when you showed it to us, I didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, but it starts off this intro where, I think they're a married couple already, right?
They look like it, or they're either they look like could be like fiance or married already.
And so they're like making dinner and they're getting ready, and you hear the doorbell go off, and he goes and answers it, and it's like an old friend. It looks like he hasn't seen him in quite a while.
And this guy's rough looking.
Yeah,
got a scruffy beard on him, kind of real shifting on, like looking him in the eyes, kind of looking both ways.
He's got some bags under his eyes. Looks like he hasn't slept in days. Maybe a drunk or a crackhead.
Sure, yeah, something like that. Strung out a little bit.
I think it was because I think he might have been dating the other girl before.
Yeah, there was some conflict.
Yes.
They never said exactly what it was, but apparently they haven't seen each other for like, I don't know, a few years maybe, it seemed like, and they're
and looks like his best friend kind of took his girl.
Yeah, either they both were after the same girl and it ended badly, or who knows what happened, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And he's like asking like, oh, is she here? And he's like, he lies. She is there in the kitchen, but she's hiding.
Yeah, not wanting to see him because of whatever past conflict they have.
Right. And he's like, well, whatever, the past is in the past. I got you a gift. And they sit down, and he's like, oh.
He's still real shifty about it.
Yeah, and he's like...
It's like, hey, well, she's not here, right? Like, yeah, she's with her folks. Like, all right, great. Why don't you open it?
Yeah.
Like, all right. And, there comes a card with it as well. And he's about to, usually with the gift, you open the card first, you know, the thank you messages, and then you go to your gift. He's like, no. The card will make sense after you open the box. Just open the box first.
And he opens the box.
Yeah, to find just this dark void.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say too.
I don't know if you've ever seen those videos of like the Black is Black, that Vanta Black, where they like paint like a mask or something, and then it seems like it's just like a flat 2D image. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've never seen that, but that's interesting.
So it reminds you of that, because imagine just a box filled with Vanta Black. You just see nothing. And you know, it's a little bit off-putting to him. He's like, questions like what is this supposed to be? Is like a gag gift or something? And then as soon as the guy opens it up, his buddy's like, hey man, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I just remembered I gotta do something. See ya.
Enjoy the gift.
Enjoy the gift.
Splits like deuces, I'm out.
Yeah.
He takes a flashlight. He's so confused. And what I really like about that scene, and I would like to go into like finding out how they pulled that off, but the flashlight is just going around the edge of the box, but when it goes into that black void, it's
dead.
Yeah, dead.
You don't see
Nothing.
anything.
No reflections, no edges.
Yeah, no light is going in there.
It seems like light doesn't like just as being like reflected. No edges, no nothing. It just seemed empty, like bottomless.
Yep.
Like it would just go on forever. Like if you drop something in it, it would never hit the ground. And that's exactly what he does.
he
Like,
takes a pencil.
He dropped it in there.
Nothing. You don't hear
and of course,
nothing.
you know, while he's freaking out, you know, his wife or fiance or whatever comes back out to see him, like frantically, like looking through the drawers, try to find a flashlight, try to find like a pencil or something to drop in it. And you know, as he drops the pencil in it, the girlfriend or fiance is there in the background, also waiting for the pencil to hit the bottom of the box, hear a little thud or clunk, and then it's just nothing. And so they're both just looking at the box in awe, wondering like, what is it? Like, what does this mean?
Yeah, what is this supposed to be?
Yeah.
And what is it? They're doing something. They look away for a moment
because you know they remember the card, and it's like, oh wait, there was a card to this box.
Yeah, that's right. So he reads the card.
Yeah, and it basically just tells him like, whatever you do, like I don't know much about the like. So the friend, I guess, wrote what he knew in the card about like, I don't know too much about it, but I know he can't move when you look at him. It's like, so it doesn't make sense because it's like, who is he talking about? And they turn back to look at the box, and peeking out, it's just like this wet dude. He's just like just right above the nose. He's just peeking out of the box, just looking at him.
He's just like drenching.
Yeah,
he's like all this water is just spilling off his forehead.
Wet. It's like
He's creepy looking too. The guy's like scary.
He doesn't even blink. Actually, his eyes are just wide open. He just locks eye contact with you the whole entire time. Not one single blink.
You're right. Yeah, you know, I didn't realize that, but I don't think he does blink.
Yeah, and then there's a part where she starts asking questions, and he starts asking her some questions, and she replies back, but to realize that it's not her replying back, it's the thing in the box mimicking her voices, their voices.
Yeah, the voices, the guy in the box is echoing stuff they've already said.
Yeah, that was freaky, and that one I didn't expect.
That was pretty interesting. And then he starts echoing stuff the friend said earlier to him, I guess, in private. So it seemed like the friend had a private conversation with his creepy man in the box. And with the echo, it was like, just make sure Mark doesn't leave the house.
Yeah. And
he was like, all right. So they think like, okay, we got to track down my buddy. What is up with this? Where'd this box come from? Who is this guy? But, you know, then they realize it's like, well, we can't take our eyes off him because once we do, he's going to start moving. They do a little quick test where they look at each other for like 3 seconds and they look back. And now he has like both of his hands holding onto the edge of the box like he's about to pull himself out of it. And so then they realize like, all right, one of us has to stay here, keep looking at him so he doesn't get any further out of the box. And then, and because of what the guy had echoed earlier, like, oh, make sure Mark doesn't leave. Like, okay, look, my friend wants me to stay here because then this guy's going to do something to me. So if I leave, I think it'll be the safest situation. You just look at him, and I'll be back as soon as I can, and we'll get this figured out.
Yeah. So manly to leave the girl behind. You got this, babe. I'm back.
You know, we understand. That was the plan. They don't want him to leave. So then he got that reverse psychology, like, I gotta leave.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. So he takes off on the road, and he keeps calling him. And then finally he's leaving a voicemail saying that like, hey man, like I left her at the house. I'm out here looking for you. And that's when it catches his attention. He picks up the phone. He's like, hey, what did you say? He's like, hey, I'm looking for you. I'm on the road, looking for you. He's like, I left her at home. And he's like, no. He's like, that is a lie. This thing is lying to you. I never said anything like that. I didn't even know this thing could talk till now. And what was it? It was tricking. It was tricking him, lying to him.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about? Who is talking? It's like the guy in the box. It's like, listen, I didn't even know he could talk. It's like, look, you can't take your eyes off him. It's like, yeah, I know. My wife, she's back there. It's like, no, you can't take your eyes off of him. And then, like, come to the realization, like, oh.
It's
like,
left my girlfriend alone in the house.
That was an intense moment. Like, he just goes silent. And you can tell, like, he's trying to keep his composure. He's calm. He turns the car around, but you know deep down inside, he's screaming inside. He's screaming inside.
And that whole time his friends are like, listen, don't go back. It's like a lost cause.
You don't
like,
want to see it.
It's over. Just don't go back.
Yeah.
Like whatever this curse was, like it's done what it needed to do. You're done with it. Don't go back there.
I know. Did that get suspenseful for you?
Yes, I thought it was super suspenseful. I really liked it, but when we had saw it the first time, I got a little scared. I was like,
Yeah,
oh my God.
Hannah was like terrified of it. She didn't want to watch it again.
We were all really quiet, and we had all the lights off. It's at nighttime. We were watching this, so we're all just focused in on what's happening. And he finally gets back to the house, and all the lights are off in the house. The only thing that's illuminating the living room was the Christmas lights on the tree, and all the light sockets were all pulled out of the wall. And what? How does he end up? He ends up. Oh, he ends up
a flashlight. He finds a flashlight again.
Yeah.
He ends up going down the basement because I think he's just looking around the house trying to find something, and then he calls out to his girlfriend, and then the guy in the box does that echoing trick again.
Yeah, that's how you.
It's the girlfriend.
Yeah, but that's how you know it was the thing because of that echoing. Pitch.
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense for the context.
Yeah.
So, and then after that one response, is like, "I'm down here, Mark," or like whatever she said.
What's
She's
up?
like, "Hey, Mark, what's up, Mark?" And then after that, she never responded again. So it's like, yeah, that was definitely not her.
And it's a basement. It's like a rule. You don't go down to the basement.
Mm-hmm. But, I guess the curiosity gets the best of him. I was like, she's down there. I got to get her. And so he wanders down there to his detriment.
You hear, what is it? A shower, a faucet?
Oh, yeah. Also, when he comes out, because, they're all wet. So I guess I need water. So, like, all the faucets in the house are running.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
there
like
might be a connection to that.
The sink was running. He turned the sink off. We were going downstairs, and he goes downstairs to the basement. And there's like a restroom down there, and they have the shower going, and they have the faucet going.
That's true. They're like paranormal plants or something.
Like
you gotta water them.
Paranormal plants.
Or they're just like the wet bandits from the Home Alone.
The wet bandits.
Yeah, we got to turn on all the faucets.
We're not the sticky bandits. We're the wet bandits.
It's our trademark. Yeah, and so then he goes to turn them all off, and then he runs into like. I don't know if it was in the shower. He runs into one. I don't know if it was the original guy or like someone else, but he runs into.
You really can't tell.
Yeah, because
all you see is the angle from the mirror.
Yeah.
Into the
and then it's like through a shower curtain, so it's very like just kind of more of like a figure of somebody in the shower. And then something happens, another noise happens.
He hears a noise and he turns and he's like, "What was that?" Yeah. And he looks back and they're gone.
They're gone, guys. No, nowhere to be found.
He already fucked up.
Yeah.
He already messed up a long time ago. And then he tries to run back up the stairs.
Yeah, drops his flashlight. And
then he looks back, he hears a noise, and he looks back at the restroom, and he can see like half the whatever was in that box, the man, he sees half his body, and then he hears a creak at the steps, and he looks up, and there's like what, 4 silhouettes?
It's like a herd of them just waiting at the top of the stairs.
They're staring down at him.
They're cornering him.
Yeah, and then he stops and looks back, and he sees the guy getting closer, and then he looks back, and they're like another 1 or 2 steps closer to him coming down the stairs, and then he looks back at the other guy, and he's already reaching for the light switch to turn off.
I think that's my favorite part, where, he's already reaching his hand up, gonna turn off the light, so he doesn't want to look away from him, but all you hear is creaking coming down the steps
as they're slowly
getting closer.
And then when they get just too close to him, he finally breaks eye contact with the guy about to turn off the light, and he turns his head and click.
Yeah.
And that was it for him. Lights out.
And that's how it ends. Lights out for him. They got him. And I remember last time when we had watched this, I had mentioned, like, I like that you brought up the beginning of this whole thing, it reminds you of It Follows. That's a really good one. You don't know where it comes from or anything.
Yeah, you don't know anything about it. It's just
something that keeps getting passed on.
Yeah, the supernatural being that just keeps on following you for whatever reason. Because you were unfortunate enough to be cursed with it.
Yeah. Yes, and then the ending, I remember I had brought up last time. It reminds me of that game Five Nights at Freddy, and and I got to play it on VR. My brother introduced me to it, and that's how that game was kind of played out. You always had to be checking your your sides, turning on the lights on and off to see if they were coming closer to you. If they were coming closer, they both could be coming like at each angle and stuff. But it was like, which light do I want to turn on? Like, is it going to be too late? You got to make like a big decision. If not, like they were going to come for you. So that was a really good twist. It Follows and then Five Nights at Freddy kind of mashed up into like one little short story.
Yeah.
But that one was a really good one, and that one kept us on our tippy toes for a good while.
Yeah, it's short. It's only like I think 15 minutes, but it just flies by. It's just really like engaging, and you want to know what's happening next, and it just ends on that whole horrible scene at the end of the short clip or short film.
Yeah, that one was a really good one. Again, what was the name of that one? At the end, the other side
the
of
other
the box.
side of the box. It's a short film on YouTube. You can look it up. If you like It Follows, this is like I said. This is just like imagine that, but just like condensed down in 15 minutes.
Actually, It Follows was like okay for me. I wasn't crazy about it, but this short film, I really did enjoy it. I liked it more.
Yeah, I think it could. Short films. I think it gives you that leeway. Like if you don't have a super strong idea, like it'll work great because it's. You can get your thought out there, and you can convey it quickly. There's no need to draw it out over like an hour and a half.
That's true.
Yeah, the suspense does like really creep up on you. I really like that there's not too much dialogue going into this. Like they're not discussing so much. It's all about the actions. Like the ambience is happening all around you.
Yeah, they leave a lot of context clues. Yeah, it just like clues you into what's going on around. So this world feels like little lived in, like it's developed. It's not very like stagnant place where they got to tell you what's happening. Like you can easily figure out what's happening, so you feel really engaged with it. For a short film, I think it does a great job.
Yeah, I thought so too. So for that, on a scale of 1 to 5, like skulls, right? Or I don't know if we should say skulls or zombie hands or something. On a scale of 1 to 5, what would you give this short film?
I'd give it like a 4.5 white guys in a box. I don't think it's like perfect, but it's damn near close.
Yeah. Okay, so 4.5.
3.5 to 4. I'd give it a 4, maybe max.
A 4? Okay. I'd probably give it a... Man, I'm not such a harsh critic. I don't know what it is.
I am.
It's really...
But for me to
I know.
say that it's a 3.5 to 4 out of 5, that means I really liked it. It was really good. Like, I'm really harsh, like, when it comes to, like, movies and stuff. I know what I like and I know what I don't. And this is something I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I would give mine a 4.5. I really liked the suspense coming from it. They had really good like visuals. Remember, I really liked that visual. So they give a quick scene where it's from the vision from inside the box looking up at the couple and stuff, and it's like a black outline too. So I thought that was a really good. How'd you say a POV?
Yeah, POV. Of, I guess what the guy in the box is seeing.
Yes,
outside the box.
Yes, you get to see from his eyes. And I thought that was like, it's the little details like that that really bring you in.
Yeah, it's an impressive short.
Okay, so you said what, 4? 4.5? 4.5. Check it out, guys.
Definitely.
And we want to roll up into another short film that he introduced us to. And I can't remember the name of it. It was...
the one with the pictures. Or was it?
Well, that one was a really good one too, the Polaroids, and then that one you just showed us about
that
the
was
closet.
The Armoire. I think it was called the Armoire.
The Armoire.
The Armoire, yeah. That was pretty good too.
That one was a little more out there. I wish I had a little more details. It wasn't good as the other side of the box, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a decent short film.
Yeah. It starts off with what we want to say she's an Aussie girl.
Yeah, because the way she says "nar," she says it with like Norrrr. That's how she says no. So I'm pretty sure she's from Australia, moving to LA to try and become an actress.
It looked like it.
Pursue her career.
And stuff.
Yeah, her headshots. Yeah.
There you go, headshots. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
And so it starts off with the way it starts off with a guy dumping trash into just this empty lot. It's just like a bunch of junk. The car is like this beat up shit car or truck. And then they just like dump in whatever trash he has in the back of it. So you don't really understand what's happening there. It's like, okay. And then it leads into the next one with the Aussie girl getting her, I guess, signing the lease on her apartment.
Yeah. She has like no furniture, no nothing.
Mm-hmm. She's coming back walking with
some Goodwill finds.
Yeah, a lamp and a chair. And it wasn't just like an office chair or something. I thought maybe she was looking for an office chair, but it was like more of a dining chair, but
all hard.
Doesn't look very comfortable at all. But I mean, I think she could have invested a little bit more into an office chair and just kind of roll that with her.
For real, like, what are you gonna do with one big empty apartment with one single chair? At least you had like, make sure you got like a bean bag. At least you would have more chill atmosphere.
Oh right, yeah,
It's
that
a
would
serial
be
killer.
better.
It's a
Yeah.
serial killer atmosphere. You just have one dining chair in the middle of your living room.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't think I'll be hanging around too long. See you guys.
Yeah, and she ends up finding a dumped
Yeah, where the guy dumped the
Yes.
his junk. She ends up passing that
he
empty
dumps
lot.
that junk.
That's junk. And she finds the I guess among the junk is a nicer armoire set. So she's like, that's pretty good.
She's like,
Pretty nice.
I
It's
think
all
I'll
duct
take this.
taped all around. I
Yeah.
can work with this.
It's like, it's not too bad.
It was actually funny that we had saw that. So it just goes straight to the scene, and she already has it in her room. We're like, man, how the fuck did she pull this
Yeah.
in there? And then
Yeah,
it
'cause
shows.
she did not drive to that spot. She was carrying everything in her hands.
Yeah.
You telling me she lugged that thing on her back? But
Turns out she stole a dolly.
yeah, I don't know where she got the dolly from, but it pans over to a dolly in the corner of the room. Like, okay, so you're telling me she dollied that thing all the way to her apartment?
And it's funny because that camera really focused on that dolly for like a
It's like,
good
listen-
5 seconds.
Like, yeah, the director's like, listen, people are gonna wonder how she's got it here. It's like, you know what, just put in a shot of a dolly for a good like 3-4 seconds. People will pick up on the context.
We answered your question.
Yeah, there you go.
Big ass roll of duct tape.
Oh yeah, that was so funny. There was like weird comedic beats to this one. Like after, because it was just covered in duct tape, you know, and then she was like done like unwrapping all the duct tape, and she throws like this basketball size
Yeah.
water duct tape on her bed when she's done. Like it's just
That's
goofy.
it.
And there you go.
And we're like, that was not subtle at all.
Yeah,
You think there was just gonna be like this little small roll of duct tape, and it was like
No,
this
it's
basketball size.
basketball.
Like, there we go, it's all done.
That was a real goofy shot. I don't know if they meant it to be funny, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, we got some laughters in there on that one. And then later on that night, she's sleeping, and then all of a sudden you start to hear some tapping, and it's coming from that closet. And it was like, you can tell that it's coming from like at first I was thinking like maybe 3 fingers. I was like, no, it's 4 fingers.
It's all 4.
Yeah, and I don't know if it would come out here on the audio, but on the table, if I was to do it, it would sound like this.
Oh, there you go. You're
Oh,
nailing
that's a
it.
better way, yeah.
That's all you hear repeatedly all through the night. Actually, she wasn't in her bed, right? She was in the restroom.
Oh yeah, I think
when
she
the-
was like in the living room or something. I think she was like, I can't remember what she was. I think she might have been on her phone or something.
Yeah.
And she starts hearing the note. Oh no. I
She's
can't
looking down the
remember.
hallway. I think she's looking down the hallway.
Yeah, she's.
So she could just hear that going repeatedly. And then it kind of stops.
Yeah, as soon as she gets a little bit too close,
Yeah.
it stops.
And then you hear a creak, like footsteps. And they're coming closer.
Oh yeah.
Closer. And then all of a sudden it's just,
Yeah, it breaks out to a sprint.
running.
yes. Oh man, that one kind of built suspense. It really
That
did
was-
build suspense, and that was actually really good. She freaks out, flips out, and I think she threw herself on the bed, right? Is that what she did? Or
No, she falls back into
Yeah.
her one dining
Oh.
chair. She runs into the living room, like trips, and like falls back into the dining chair.
I'm so glad I got this chair.
Yeah, she was lucky she got that chair. She would have fallen on the floor otherwise.
But for a second, though, I was like, what did I miss? What happened?
Yeah, you like wait for like a split second, like something happened. It's like no, it's just that this is audio. It's like someone
Yeah.
running towards her, and she got spooked.
Yeah, I really thought I missed something. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it was a quick scene. That was pretty scary.
It was intense. And she goes into work. It doesn't really go much into like a videotaping of her at work, but it just shows that she goes into work. She's coming back home. She's on the phone with her mom, and they're discussing something, and you just see her walk into the room, and the camera angle just stays there in the hallway, and you can just hear her say, "Mom, I gotta call you back." And it kind of just goes into this eerie music and follows her into the bedroom. And all her clothes were not hanging in that closet anymore. They were all tossed around, thrown around everywhere. And she freaks out. I mean, there's a lot of things she could have done about this. She could have like maybe done a police report. You would think that like somebody
You think
would
she
kind of break
reported
it.
it, like,
Yeah, because
I
that's
think
what it kind of
someone-
looked like. It looked like someone
Yeah.
broke in, but like
Yeah.
realized she didn't have shit and was like, oh.
They're like, man, fuck this.
Yeah.
She's fucking
I
poor
broke
as
into this
shit,
house, I
man.
did nothing.
Yeah, I'm out of here,
Yeah,
man.
that's what I thought was gonna happen too, but she just like, all right.
She actually gets distracted out of nowhere. Like, I don't even know what brought her to this. But remember, she's just looking at this like, whoa, somebody might have broken into my house. And then she kind of reaches for her neck like, whoa,
Oh, yeah.
I got like a tick or a bite. She starts like scanning her. I don't know why she's
The
scanning
back of her neck.
Yeah.
She's on her bed. I guess she thinks she's like there might be bed
bed
bugs
bug.
or something.
Yeah, bed bugs.
And she ends up like flipping over the mattress as if the bed bugs would be on all surfaces.
Yeah, exactly.
But it looked like a piece of skin was missing.
Yeah, it looked like a little chunk was scratched off. But I like how that distracted her enough to not like be concerned about her tossed clothes anymore.
Yeah,
like,
trying to make a police report,
Like, I
checking
gotta
the
check-
locks.
Yeah, like nah, I'm gonna check out this bite. I think I have it back.
Which you would think you would kind of look into. I forgot in the very beginning, at the office, they give her the key to her new apartment. They said, "Whatever you do, don't make a copy of this." So maybe like, for me, right, moving in, I would think like, "Oh my God, somebody before me made a copy of this."
Oh, I missed that. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, I
part.
missed that too.
That's something that I would have picked up too. Like, oh my God, somebody made a copy of the key and is coming back into this apartment and harassing me.
No, the first thing she thought, bed bugs.
Bed bugs.
They made these noises.
These
Oh
bed
my
bugs are-
God, they're so big. They're tossing my clothes all
Yeah.
over the place. They're trying to clean house.
These LA bed bugs are real bad.
I came into the wrong home.
Yeah. And then what's the next scene after that one? I think that's when she's asleep. And then she starts hearing
The tapping
The
noise
tapping of
again, but this time it's happening at night.
yeah.
And and what catches her attention too was what I didn't know was that on this on the closet there was shutters, and you see the
Not in the
piece.
closet. It was on the drawer.
On the armoire, yeah. On the
Yeah,
armoire.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
It has it has shutters on it, so
yeah.
creepily opens at night.
And it was only on one side, and they open, and she's just staring at him, and you can hear the tapping of the fingers, and she's staring really hard. And this is the part where it got super intense. And then she's staring at it, and then her eyes slowly start moving up, and there's a silhouette of something,
a dark figure.
a dark
Yeah.
figure on top of it, tapping its fucking fingers with its long nails on there, staring right at her. That was actually a pretty intense moment, and I didn't fucking expect that.
Mm-hmm.
I think what it reminded me of it was like The Conjuring. Remember where they'd go to the cabinets
No,
and they
you're
look and they're like,
right.
nothing's there. And then they look up and like this crazy thing
And it just
top.
lunges at her. Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
That's what I thought of when I saw that. I thought of that movie.
Did it lunge at her? No, right?
No, it
No, what
didn't.
happened- she
Unfortunately.
runs off. She runs up out of the
Oh.
room and to the front door to try to get out of there. But then somehow, while she's running to the door, the armoire teleports to the front door and totally blocks
blocked.
her in.
Yeah.
And then she can just like slowly hear like footsteps coming down the
Oh,
hallway.
man.
That was another creepy scene in that one.
And that's where you see the creature or
The
whatever
shadow
it is.
figures.
And it walks past and just like maybe there's another room there. It could be a restroom
Yeah,
or
restroom
something.
probably.
And it just walks in there. But it's like this real lanky, scrawny, dark figure walking in there. It kind of almost reminded me of that scene in Signs when they first have the
Oh,
first
yeah, the
view
alien
of the
walking
alien
by,
walking
yeah.
by. That's
Yeah, I can
exactly
do that
what.
scene,
Yeah,
yeah.
and everyone's like, like
Oh my
something.
goodness.
Something out of this world, that you just don't see every day, and you caught it on camera or you just
Yeah.
saw it like first sight. But it reminded me of that moment.
Yeah, it's very much like that Sasquatch walk. Where it's just like there.
And Tig looks back at you.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Keeps
I gotta
going.
get out of you, man.
And that just freaks her out. She just like starts going like savage on the armoire, trying to like
Sure.
knock it over. But
Yeah.
even though she literally pulled that armoire there, now she's unable to move it. It is now 10 times heavier.
I would have been like, "Where's my dolly?
Where's the dolly?
Where's the dolly?"
It's in the bedroom. Shit. I'm not going back there.
Oh man,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, and it turns to this view, and for some reason she's looking back at it because the shutters open up again, and the thing's like breathing right behind her. And she turns around and she flashes the flashlight right in its face.
Oh yeah, that's right. She goes into the kitchen to get the flashlight.
Yeah,
And then she turns back around, and then all of a sudden, it's just like they're looming over her.
yeah. And it goes back, and it's the morning. She's still alive.
Yeah,
but
but-
she looks all fucked up.
She has like all these like scratch marks all over her face.
Yeah.
The skin missing.
And she's it's so this is again it's like another like comedic moment. Like she just looks like, oh, I'm so fed up with this armoire. It's haunting me. I've got to get rid of
She
it.
starts taping it back up.
Yeah, duct taping it back up, and then she
There was a
wheels-
reason for this.
I don't want this shit no more.
Exactly. Then she starts wheeling it back out to the empty lot and just dumps.
Dumps
That was
it.
another like funny moment where she's like tips it over.
I know.
Boom, and she's like just deadpan. And then she walks herself back home. And then as soon as she walks in through the door, she like takes like 3 steps, and all of a sudden, bam, just
The
drops
door
dead.
closes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the door
Yeah,
slowly closes and then bam.
She hits her bed face first, and whatever the fuck was happening on her face, it's that first mark you saw on the back of her neck, and she has it like on
On her
multiple
face.
spots of her face, and they just start like bleeding out. Whatever the fuck it was.
So I guess that's just the curse. Like once he touches you, that's it.
Yeah.
You're marked
Yeah.
for death. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you get rid of the armoire, you're too late.
It's slowly feeding off of you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And then immediately after that shot, they go back to they start zooming in on the truck that originally dumped off the armoire and that.
Yes.
Which is still there.
Yeah, it was just like he drove off like maybe like a block or two, and then you zoom in on it and you see the guy's also got the little scratch marks on his face, and he's just hunched over on the wheel, dead.
Yeah.
bleeding too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be long gone.
And then like the last shot to wrap it all up is another unsuspecting victim admiring this really nice armoire.
And he can hear the.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, babe, check this out." And that part kind of reminded me of Jumanji.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
They're like, "What is that? Whoa, let's take it home."
Don't.
No fear at all. I love
I
it.
know.
And he's like, this is nice. I like it. Listen, I'm a white guy in California. What's the worst that could happen to me?
Perfect.
So that one was really good, but it did have its little comical moments.
Yeah, those two funny shots with like the duct tape,
Oh
the duct
my
tape
God.
off,
Yeah.
and then her just being like fed up, like I'm just tired of this curse.
Focusing on the dolly, I was like, "Oh man!"
Yeah, that was pretty funny too.
But it was really good. So,
Yeah, that was another good one. I liked it. It was solid.
So on a scale of 1 to 5,
What would you rate it?
what would you rate it?
I think I'd give it $3 out of 5.
Okay, 3
It's
out
not-
of 5.
Not too bad.
I'll go last because I want to hear your guys' opinion. What would you rate it?
Uh, well, if they didn't have the intentions of comedy in there,
Yeah, I don't know if they're intentional or not. But
That's
but
just
they're
the
like
thing.
It's just weird. I mean, if it's in there, comedic genius. If they're not in there,
Yeah.
you're really undercutting your story.
yeah, it's like, come on, man. So it's hard to say, right? We didn't really go deep into this and what their expectations were. But I want to say I'll give it a. Oh man, I'll probably give it like a 2.5 or a 3, just because I really just wanted to know what the fuck was going on their faces.
Yeah,
like,
it
what
didn't
was
really
it?
go
Is
too
it
much
feeding
into
off of it? Is it the bed bug that keeps following
Oh,
them as it keeps going on? Was that the
Yeah,
like
that's-
it follows? It's like how they say, like, don't have sex, because you get diseases or you
Yes.
get
That's
STDs
interesting.
and
Like-
passed on.
But
Careful what you pick up off the street. You might have bed
Exactly,
bugs.
you're passing on bed bugs, and how she's looking for it, and I'm like, was that the message? Like,
and bed bugs are really,
careful
really
with
hard
bed
to get
bugs.
rid of. Like it's really hard.
exactly, they leave an imprint.
Oh,
on
maybe
you.
that was the thing too. Like even if you get rid of it, it's still,
It's still there.
Yeah, it's
I
still
think that's
there.
what it
Maybe that
is.
could have been it.
So I mean,
that was.
if that was the case, well, hey, my rating would go up a lot higher
It's a
than
bed
that.
bug.
But
It's a bad bug. It's a bad-
but I don't know what it is.
I think it
So
would more on the. I think it would have been better if it would have been like a mattress. I guess like a mattress, like is the guy like
Oh,
he's just
that
like.
would be better.
Because then-
the face comes out of the mattress instead.
Yeah, there's something coming out of the mattress and like slowly like draining. I think that would have been better than the
Little-
Yeah, I
armoire.
think
little
that would've
arms
I think, yeah. You know, just-
hugging it.
exactly. Just like a guy who's down on his luck and just like needs somewhere. It's like he's tired of sleeping on the streets and just happens to, upon a mattress. I think that would have been a better
Oh
story
my
like,
God.
than an armoire. 'Cause it's kind of weird. It's like, why don't you need an armoire? Because most places come with a closet.
That's true,
That's
but it infests
true.
your clothes. She started putting your shirts in there and
Well,
everything.
she
and
could
then,
have done that with the closet.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true, but she didn't. Instead, she put it in there.
Trying to
and
look fancy.
It was like,
trying to
I
look
know
hot.
you ain't fancy.
Get your shit out of here, girl. This
Yeah.
ain't the place.
I think if I were to rate it, I think it would be maybe like 150, like 1.5.
Damn.
I told you I'm very harsh.
You
and
are,
Yeah.
you are.
I really didn't like this one as much as I did the first one. I just thought it was okay.
Yeah,
But
I get that.
I mean 1.5 because of humor, maybe 2 max.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if it wasn't for that, yeah, like a 1.5.
Yeah. Okay, so 1.5, you said.
3. I give it
3.
3. I think it's solid 3.
Yeah, I think I'll just go with the 3.5. But
Follower.
honestly, like, if I were to find out more about this and what their intentions were for it, I think it would be a lot higher. If
Honestly, I mean, I like your story better, like with the,
the
with
bed bug,
bugs.
right?
Yeah, I
Follows
think
you
that
wherever
would've
you
I think it would
go.
have been a good like allegories like for bed bugs. That would have been pretty good because as an armoire, like I don't know like what diseases or like infestations you get from grabbing an armoire.
That's
I understand
true.
the bed one. Is like, yeah, because
Yeah, that one's
don't be
understandable.
just picking up any bed because
That's true.
Beds
That's
are
true.
dirty.
yeah,
and
people
she
be
was
pissing the
real.
shit on
She was
them.
real quick to actually check her bed. For all we know, she picked that one up off the street too.
Right,
Because she was real
right.
quick to check her bed, also too for bed
Because in
bugs.
the beginning, she was
Oh,
calling
yeah.
her mom to send her money.
Yeah, so she probably bought a used mattress. Who
You're
knows?
right, you're
See, I
right.
think that would have been a better story, like a haunted mattress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
I like
stupid as that sounds,
No, it's pretty good.
I think a haunted
because-
armoire sounds like really because like armoire kind of sounds a little bit spooky already.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it sounds like it's like a haunted mattress sounds dumb.
That's way too far.
Hey, was
Yeah.
there a movie about a haunted sofa or a reclining couch? I swear I saw something about that.
I mean,
I'm
it
not
sounds-
crazy.
It
but
sounds
it's-
like something would do.
Oh, you know what it was? I had saw. We never watched it. It was something about like killer khaki pants or killer.
Oh,
it
I
was
haven't
like on
seen
Shudder.
that.
I haven't seen it either, but I was like, "What the fuck is this?" If we're doing killer khaki pants, killer mattresses, killer sofas, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Killer bed bugs sounds about right.
Well,
I'm not
I
gonna be
mean-
able to sleep that night. I'm gonna go back home and start searching my mattress.
spraying it down with Lysol.
I'm gonna spray my cat down with Lysol too.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
That bitch is everywhere.
I know. But that this was actually a really good short skit. These were really good horror short stories, and they were
Yeah.
by what, like Alter, right? Something
Alter,
you
that-
can
let me-
follow them on
Ah,
Alter
yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah, let me double check. Make sure
I think
I get
it
the
was
correct credit.
Alter.
Yeah, Alter. So yeah, it's the
Alter. So you
It's a
guys
YouTube
can follow
channel.
Alter. Yeah, YouTube channel on YouTube, Alter, and check out their little horror short skits. But those were the two that we've seen. We've seen a couple more, but
those were more of the standouts.
yeah, I know. But we definitely need to do this again on more horror short stories. I know there was one about a Polaroid,
Mm-hmm.
and that one's
That one I really
that
like,
one we
too.
should do next. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that one.
yeah, that one was really, really good. But yeah, so we're like what? Oh wow, we're like 36 minutes in, about 37 minutes in, and that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
All
So-
right.
Yeah, for some quick horror fixes. I mean, if you're looking for one, I'd recommend those two. Yeah, both
Yeah.
on YouTube. I think you're both not longer than 15 minutes. So quick watch. Or you got some downtime. Taking a break for lunch.
If you
what's
can't sleep at night,
I know,
Yeah.
perfect. Like Mark likes to watch horror movies at night.
Yeah.
if that's your
You can't
thing.
sleep.
If that's your thing, there you go.
yeah. But yeah, if you're trying to put yourself to sleep, watch some short horror flicks
You never know.
Or
Yeah.
monsters inside of me.
or monsters inside of me. Just
They
let
all
you
can
know.
be winners.
But this was great. So we'll be signing off.
It's your girl, Poison Apple. Hope to see you guys next time.
Toby, hopefully we can do this again soon.
This was a lot of fun. This was your lovely evil host, Jamie Strode, with Evil by Default podcast. And remember, stay spooky.